Hello and welcome to Conversations. I'm Robin Torres, your host. Our guest today is Wendell Maddox. He's the CEO and President of the United Way of Wyandotte County. Also, he is a Kansas City, Kansas Community College Board of Trustee member. He's also a native of Kansas City, Kansas, a graduate from Sumner High School. Wendell serves on various boards, and we're very, very happy to have him with us today. Welcome, Wendell, and thank you for being with us today.
Well, thank you for inviting me, Rob. I'm glad to be here.
I am very glad you came. So you are a native Wyandotte County, Kansas City, Kansas. Graduated from Sumner High School, is that correct?
Yes, I graduated from Sumner in 1965, a few years ago.
What was it like then
at
Sumner? Tell me about that.
It was a great experience. You know, we had a primarily segregated school then. When I attended Sumner, I think it was when I was a junior, or my senior year was the first years that they integrated schools. And the process of integration in Wyandotte County, they started with the teaching faculties, and they integrated the teaching faculty. And that was my first experience having a white teacher. Okay. And I was really interested. She was my history teacher, and I really got engaged in history and really enjoyed that class and enjoyed the experience. And that experience was, relatively seamless for all of us. There were no incidents. Nothing happened. I think that, and when we went from there, I think several years later was when they went full-blown integration of the schools. I think it had to be about 15, 16 years later. Okay.
What was the uniqueness of Sumner?
Well, the uniqueness was, I could point out, it was the faculties. You know, I found out years later, in fact, it was here recently, I never knew why we had such good teachers, such engaged teachers, such highly qualified teachers. And the reason was that teachers all over the country knew about this area and found out that this is where you could get top pay. So a lot of, we had teachers from all over the country, from Texas, from back east, from Ohio. I had a teacher from Cleveland, I remember that. But it was because of the high pay that this community was willing to pay high quality teachers, and we had a high quality education at the time. The community was also engaged. We had a fair amount of black businesses in the African American community, and we had a strong support system from both parents and community leaders. It was just a great experience growing up here.
Okay. And did that prepare you well for your professional career?
I think it did. Being around professional people, I had just tons of mentors, people that I looked up to, both in the church and the community. We had strong political leaders then. I had an opportunity to work in the summer, and had really good internships and opportunity to, just be engaged with people in the community.
Okay, so the values that you took from working in the community and, of course, being part of the community obviously carried on throughout the rest of your life.
Yeah, I think you pointed out values, and that's what we really learned. We had strong families. I come from a two-parent family, and my neighborhood, the neighborhood that I lived in, just had a lot of kids. I think every family averaged 6 kids, at least. And my family, we had 10. People across the street had, believe it or not, 21 kids.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's just a lot of kids in that neighborhood, and we grew up just having a ball and enjoying our childhoods.
Okay. Your first job, not first, let me back that up. You worked with the Humane Society.
Yeah, I went with what we call animal protection. I went there after I left Turner House. I ran Turner House Community Center on 3rd Street for about 5 years, and I left there in 1980. I went to work for the Humane Society of the United States, which was, really a big switch from what I had been doing. And I think I was hired primarily because of my skills and background working in a nonprofit environment. But I did have to learn the animal issues and what issues that we worked on. But
and your position there was?
I was regional director for Midwest,
okay.
For Kansas, Iowa, Nebraska, and Missouri. And the work there that I was required to do is a variety of work. I did everything from investigations to helping new humane societies get started in the region to doing legislative work, doing media work. I mean, we were required to do a lot of different things. And one of the things I was able to do, I'm sure people have heard the term puppy mills.
Yes.
And I did a lot of work with puppy mills and exposing the cruelties and what goes on in that industry, and was able to get laws passed in both Kansas and Missouri to regulate those industries. And I think that was one of my proudest accomplishments when I worked with the Humane Society. Other things, in Kansas, a few years even after I left, I had, or before I left the Humane Society, I had Senator David Haley introduce a cruelty bill, or an upgrade in the cruelty bill, based on an investigation that I had done on a dog that was burned to death.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was the Scruffy case. Yeah, I investigated the Scruffy case and had Senator Haley introduce the Scruffy bill, which actually increased the penalty for animal cruelty.
Was there a lot going on? A lot of animal cruelty that the public was unaware of? And I know we get news stories here and there, but I know we don't hear everything. Yeah,
there's a considerable amount of animal cruelty that goes on. It goes on in a variety of ways, both in homes and in different animal exploitation industries. We had a certain amount even in some of the parimutuel gambling, like dog racing, and some of the investigations that I did was how those greyhounds are trained, and how they're trained on live animals and trained to chase rabbits and small puppies and kittens. So that was some of the things that we uncovered then.
Anything in specific that they would do that really raised the red flag as far as we need to investigate this? Anything specific?
Well, I think over the years a considerable amount has been done to uncover what goes on in these industries, and I think people are fully aware of what goes on, and I think it's to the point now where people have choices that they make. Whether it's where they go for entertainment, or the clothes they wear, what they eat, because it all connects in some way to animals.
Okay. You're now with the United Way, CEO, President. What led you to the United Way agency?
Well, actually, I'd been in animal protection for going on 20 years, and as you pointed out earlier, I was born and raised here in Kansas City, Kansas, and I saw some things going on in the community, and I thought that some of the skills that I had developed and learned in working in animal protection, that I could use some of that and come back to the community and do some good. Okay. And that's what I decided to do. So I left there, and fortunately a position opened up at United Way. I mean, it was just, the timing was great and the opportunity was there. And I believe I was prepared to walk into the position.
Okay.
And that's how I got there.
What was that first position that you took with United Way?
Well, I started out as the director of agency relations. In that position, I was required to manage all the relationships with our funded agencies, as well as creating what we call the allocations process.
Okay.
So every year we have an annual campaign, and after that campaign we distribute back out those funds to our funded agencies. So I had to work with that process, and fortunately the way that operates is that we have volunteers that come in and help us make those decisions. And in fact, all the decisions on the funding that goes back out the door, all those decisions are made by volunteers who live here in the community and are donors themselves.
Okay, we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back to the funding process a little later. But we're going to take a break with Wendell Maddox, and we'll be right back. That's pretty good.
Just like the Air Force Thunderbird pilot I flew with, I have to make split-second decisions as a top fuel driver. Hi, I'm Brandon Bernstein, driver for Kenny Bernstein's 2010 Copart Lucas Oil Top Fuel Dragster. To make it in the NHRA, I've had to work hard, stay focused, and make smart decisions along the way. To reach your goals, you need to think straight, stay on track, and give your very best effort in everything you do. Make the right choices today and be ready for the challenges tomorrow. This message brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
Hi, and welcome back to Conversations. I'm Robin Torres, and we're here with Wendell Maddox, President, CEO of the United Way of Wyandotte County. So, Wendell, I would really like to know, what is the importance, and I'd like you to tell the viewers, the importance of the United Way?
Well, I think that if there wasn't a United Way, you'd have to create it. You know, the United Way movement itself began back in the late 1800s. It was started by a priest, a rabbi, and two ministers in Denver, Colorado. And the purpose then, and it still exists today, is that there were businesses in the community that were being asked to support different charities in the community. And they said, why don't you all get together and have one campaign, and we'll be able to support that one campaign through payroll deduction. And our employees can support it, and our businesses can support it. So why don't you all get together? And that was when what they called back then the community chest. It started out, and it's had several different names around the country. In fact, we started out as a community chest in 1921 here in the community, and we were actually started by the Chamber of Commerce. We operated out of the basement of the Chamber of Commerce back in 1921, and our first campaign then was to support about 15 agencies in the community, and they raised some $30,000 with the first campaign. That was quite impressive, and that kind of history of giving continues in this community. I know that we've had a down economy, and over the past 2 or 3 years we had a down campaign, but the community is always there. Obviously it could be better, but it could also be worse. Right. But we've done quite well, and by bringing all of those agencies to the table that we support, we're able to support a variety of programs. So people need to understand, when they support United Way, you're not only supporting groups like the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, Campfire, you're supporting Red Cross, Salvation Army, different agencies in the community. I think one of the misconceptions about United Way is when you give to United Way is making the decisions on what programs are actually supported. But no, it's more about the agencies that we support and the programs that they operate. So it's sort of like a one-stop giving. If you want to support several different charities, you can do that. And that's what I like about United Way. If I give $100, for example, that $100 is going to be spread across several different agencies, and it's not just going to one particular charity.
And who makes those decisions on which charities get funded and how much?
Well, we have community volunteers that, I think I talked about this earlier, community volunteers that come in, and we call them allocation volunteers. Okay. And we have several different teams set up that certain teams review certain agencies. And the process is that every 3 years we have what we call allocation reviews. And each team goes out to an agency's location, and they get a presentation on the services that they provide. Some of them even bring in clients that they've served to tell their stories. So so
they have to put on a presentation,
right,
to get more funding or to have it continued.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The rules and the regulations of the United Way, are they nationally, or are they locally, or are they both?
That's an interesting question. We have certain standards as a United Way that we have to adhere to. We belong to the national organization in as much as we pay them a percentage of our campaign, and that's basically to use the national marketing campaign. So when you see the United Way on the NFL games on Sunday afternoon, when you see those advertisements, or you see billboards and so forth, part of that is being paid by local United Ways. In terms of the standards, yes, we're required to adhere to standards of the national, but locals are required to adhere to standards and guidelines that we develop locally.
Okay. The phrase, and I'll quote, "advancing the common good, creating opportunity for a better life for all." What does that mean?
Well, what that really means is that, in a fundamental way, that we can't be a strong nation, we can't be a strong community if there are weaknesses in our community. So we have to make sure that wherever there's need, those needs are addressed. Wherever people need help, they get the help that they need. So when we're advancing and supporting the common good of people, we all will benefit from that. So the more we strengthen the weaknesses in our community and in our country, the better communities and country we'll have.
Okay, that's a great point. Mm-hmm. How do you get that point across to your staff that work up under you?
Well, I think that's not very difficult, because the staff sees it day in and day out, mm-hmm. No matter what part of the organization they're working in, whether they're answering the phone and they hear it on the other end of the line, what help a person needs, and we'll be able to refer them to whatever services that they require. And the need in this community has increased dramatically with the downturn in the economy. But we're able to address those needs with the agencies that we support, and they're doing a fantastic job of addressing the needs of the people. We have increased foreclosures in this community. We have increase in utility bills. People need help with those, and that's what we're able to provide.
So the process of for them is just calling in, talking with the receptionist, letting them know what the issue is, and then that person refers them to the correct agency?
Yes.
Okay.
And we can do this in two different ways. We have a regional system where people can dial 211, and that goes into a regional net database that has all the information on every service that's provided in the greater Kansas City area. Or they can call our office and we can direct them specifically to an agency in Wyandotte County.
Okay. And you've already named a couple of the agencies mm-hmm. that you guys fund, and very important. Does the funding, we have the campaign, does that funding stay in Wyandotte County, the money that is raised?
Yes, all the funds that are raised by United Way of Wyandotte County stay in Wyandotte County.
Okay.
The small percentage I pointed out earlier that helps support the national marketing.
Okay. All right. We're going to take another break. We'll be right back with Wendell Maddox, CEO, President of the United Way of Wyandotte County. And we'll be right back.
And now, another adventure with Savings Man.
Oh dear, I can't afford that.
Charge it. You can pay it off later.
Not so fast, credit card guy.
Savings Man.
Don't let him entice you, ma'am. Credit card guy can lead you to big trouble. You need a savings plan.
You're right, Savings Man.
Get this ballpark estimate worksheet at choosetosave.org. It will help you get started.
Gee, thanks, Savings Man.
No, thank you.
So visit choosetosave.org and get your ballpark estimate today.
Hi, and welcome back to Conversations. I'm Robin Torres, and we're here with Wendell Maddox, President, CEO of the United Way of Wyandotte County. You guys have a kickoff luncheon every year for the new campaign season.
Yes.
Do we have any? Do you have any surprises for us in store? I know you guys have a great luncheon, but the program itself is also wonderful. So, are there any surprises?
Well, as you know, last year we had a major kickoff. We had over 700 people, and I'm not sure if we'll be able to match that this year. I mean, it was a great turnout, and we had a great message. We had the gentleman Kevin. Oh boy, I can't remember his last name, but the gentleman and his daughter who wrote the book, The Power of Half.
Yes.
And we talked about the power of half and what that means to a community if people are willing to give up half of something that they really cherish to give to charity. So that was a great message, and I believe even the community college, the student body, picked that up and did their campaign based on that. We'll probably go back to our tagline, Live United, this year and continue on with that one. As far as surprises, I really don't have, I can't tell you what the surprise may be.
Okay.
I can tell you, though, that it won't be a luncheon this year. We're planning to have a late afternoon event this year, and it's going to be held at the new Livestrong Stadium. And we're really excited about that. We hope that the public will come out, especially those who haven't had an opportunity to see the new stadium. So we're going to have our kickoff there. We're going to start around 4:30 on September the 9th.
Okay.
And we'll talk about campaign then and what our goal will be. We normally don't reveal what our goal is for the campaign until that event. So, but I'm hoping we'll have a good turnout, even though it's going to be in a smaller location.
Okay. Now, is there anything that you would like to say to those viewers out there about the United Way giving season?
Well, yeah, I you know, as once been said, you know, give till it hurts. You know, and we don't believe in that. We believe give until it feels good. We want people to feel really good about how they support this community. As I pointed out earlier, every dollar that's raised here stays here, and it goes to support people in this community. We have some serious challenges right now with people out of work, but at the same time, we have some real opportunities with new businesses coming in and the opportunity to raise more funds. So I just hope people will you know, listen to my message about give until it feels good, and you really feel good about supporting your community. As I pointed out just a few minutes ago, when you give to United Way, you're actually supporting, in our case, over 40 different agencies in the community, and you're not just supporting one. And I think that's the good feeling. It's a good feeling that I get when I give, because I know that I'm not only supporting the Boy Scouts, I'm supporting Salvation Army, I'm supporting a lot of different agencies.
Okay. You've raised some great points about the United Way and given us great information about it. But what is the one thing, if you can think of just one thing that you would like for the viewers to know that you wish they did know about the United Way?
Well, I said it before, and I'll just say it again. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to do that. Is that when you give to United Way, you're supporting several different charities. You know, like I said, over nearly 40 different charities. And I think that the misconception about United Way is that you give to United Way and you still have to support other agencies. Well, that's okay. I think that people should support their favorite charity, but knowing that when you give to United Way, you're supporting a variety of different agencies, a variety of different programs. You're supporting Special Olympics. You're supporting agencies that provide health care to poor and indigent people who can't afford health care. We support those kinds of agencies. So, you're supporting a lot of different causes in the Wyandotte County community.
Okay. Well, thank you. On that note, I want to switch gears here for just a second. You're also a Board of Trustee member here at Kansas City, Kansas Community College.
Yeah.
And you guys have made a very historic decision on a new president, and we sadly, had to let go of Dr. Burke, who decided to retire after 19 years of service here. But now we have someone new in, and not only is she a African American, and I say she, so I'm giving it away, but we also have our very first female president. How was that process for you guys?
Oh, I think it was a monumental process. I admired the way the trustees took a hold of this process and this challenge, because we did this in a very short time.
Yes, you did.
And we had a lot of help. We had some outside consultants who helped us with this process. But we also had to make the commitment to show up to meetings and be a part of the process and interview and do the necessary vetting of different candidates in order to get to where we are today. I think the Board of Trustees made a bold move, and we'd also like to thank those in the community who came in and helped us with the process. We had different community leaders. We had members of the staff here, members of the student body. Everybody had an opportunity to be a part of the process, and I think that's what's great about this community, is that whenever there are issues to deal with, this community comes together, not only when it comes to selecting a president, but when it comes to serving this community.
So you weren't surprised by the amazing amount of help and input and encouragement that you guys received?
Not at all.
Which is great.
Not at all. I recently attended a regional meeting, and it was sort of I was sort of dumbfounded a little bit, because I was sitting at a table with people from all over the metropolitan area, and I was the only one from Wyandotte County. And one of the things that they pointed out is, when they have different issues in their particular areas, they have difficulty getting the right people to the table. That's one problem we don't have here in Wyandotte County. We can reach out, and people will show up, and people will get engaged in whatever is necessary to get done in this community. That's why I love this community so much.
We do have a great community.
Yeah. But again, back to your question, I think that Doris Gibbons, that's the new president's name, who comes in on August the 8th. I think that was a bold move, and I think it was a monumental move. But I think that the Board of Trustees was up to the challenge. I don't think that we wanted to take the safe route, and that would have been easier to choose someone that who historically you would select for a position like that. I think we sort of followed the lead in a way of the decision that Kansas University made when they selected their chancellor,
correct,
Bernadette Little. So I think they set the stage and sort of made it easy for us to make a decision like that, because we have some precedents in the immediate area just tell us that it's all right to do it. Yeah.
Well, we thank you for that decision, and we're going to welcome her with open arms. We're very proud of the board for being bold and making that decision. Yeah. And thank you for being with us today.
Oh, I was
it's been a pleasure.
To be here.
Yes, it's been really nice.
Was mine.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you for joining us today on Conversations, and we'll see you next time.